one of my jobs as a biomedical scientist used to be purifying antibodies for influenza, COVID, and a couple of other infectious diseases. I actually brought this syringe with me. These guys are endotoxin-free or pyrogen-free, right? Because anything that comes in contact with our blood needs to be endotoxin-free. Endotoxin, as you know, are parts of gram-negative bacteria, and when they end up in our blood, our body really thinks it's infection, and basically flares up our immune system to combat it. And these are not live bacteria, so this thing could be sterile. But even with the sterilization, you can't get rid of endotoxins. So these are just leftovers of bacteria you can't get rid of with cooking. And it's really interesting to me because in animal products, especially meat, you have a high amount of endotoxins just from the way that animals are slaughtered and coming in contact with feces and all that. So to begin with, you have a lot of endotoxins. Another thing, endotoxins are lipopolysaccharides. So from one side, they're lipid, from the other side, they're sugar. So when you basically eat endotoxins, it's nothing, right? So I can lick my finger and I get endotoxins, it goes to my GI tract and I'm fine. The problem starts when they go from my intestine to my bloodstream, which is why we don't need to be worried about this thing to be endotoxin free, but if it's for injection, if this is not endotoxin-free, the endotoxins will cause inflammation. That's a well-known fact. So not only meat and other animal products are high in endotoxins to begin with, the saturated fat kind of acts as a carrier to dissolve endotoxins and pass them through to our blood, and that causes inflammation and plaque formation and etc. And on the other hand, something that is really crazy is that what actually prevents this is fiber. Who knew? So not only eating plants reduces the amount of endotoxin to begin with, but also it prevents them from getting into our bloodstream. And to top that off, saturated fat and animal products change the diversity of gut microbiome towards more gram-negative bacteria, so you are also increasing the amount of gram-negative bacteria and endotoxins that you have in your gut. I love this example because it's as if nature is orchestrating this entire thing to tell you are not supposed to have animal products. But that's only one aspect of it. I used to be a cancer researcher. Just the way that meat can cause cancer and also cardiovascular diseases is something I'm very interested in. And I know you know a lot about that.
Right. I first ran into endotoxin when I was a resident in the intensive care unit, and these people were dying of endotoxic shock. And I had to learn about it, and it turns out, as you said, especially in our diet, that all animals pass through the slaughterhouse, even grass-fed organic beef. And as the carcass is being eviscerated, as the guts are pulled out, it's inevitable you get spillage of the gut bacteria all over the slaughterhouse cutting surfaces. You can take a culture tube and swab any cutting surface in the slaughterhouse, and you'll get a luxurious growth of E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, Enterococcus, Pseudomonas, the whole rogues gallery of enteric bacteria. And every steak, every chicken breast, every turkey wing that leaves the meatpacking plant has a covering of these bacteria. They're wrapped in plastic and sent to your local supermarket, and in the meat case, the ultraviolet light shines down, kills the bacteria, and they break apart, and as they do, their cell walls release this lipopolysaccharide called endotoxin. Nasty stuff, makes your blood clot, releases histamine, releases free radicals, depresses your heart function, nasty stuff, and it makes your gut leaky, increases intestinal permeability, and so food proteins and bacteria are leaking out in the bloodstream, the complements of the endotoxin. And as you said, it's heat stable. Grilling the burger does not get rid of the endotoxin, it's on there. And our paleo friends and our carnivore friends are giving themselves a shot of endotoxin 3 times a day. What is that doing to their gut wall and to their intestinal permeability? It's another sign, as you're saying, from the animal that when you make oatmeal, you don't generate endotoxin. When you steam broccoli, you don't generate endotoxin. It's another message from life and the animals that we're not supposed to be eating the flesh of these creatures. And no matter how you look at it, it's a very active cooking animal muscle. Oxidizes the cholesterol in the animal's muscle, and it's the oxidized cholesterol particles that get into the walls of the arteries and set off the plaque formation. Every time you You grill a burger or fry a chicken, you create carcinogenic, cancer-causing substance that smear on the stomach lining. You get gastric cancer. It smears on the colon lining. You get colon cancers. It's toxic, evil stuff, no matter how you look at it. And no matter what the mighty hunter legend played in it doesn't matter. It turned the page on that one. It's what we used to do. Same thing with fishing, where we've strip mined the oceans. We're clear-cutting the oceans with these massive nets. We've used fishing up. We've used it up. Let the oceans heal at this point. And the same thing with the land and the animals. Let's stop killing everything. We can't kill our way out of disease, out of poverty, out of environmental destruction. That's the problem, not the solution. Now we need to foster life in our food choices and everything else we do. Well, we have dominion over the earth. Dominion comes from the same root as domicile, your home, your house. They're guests in your house.
Protection.
We're here to protect these animals. We're the keepers of the garden. You don't plunder your garden. You care for it. You take care of it. The same thing with the animals and the plants and the oceans. We're here to take care of them. So it's time to do that figure ground reversal. What are we doing here? We're the caretakers. Are we? And starting with our food choices. That's the number one thing to do. When you're in that restaurant with that menu in front of you, when you're pushing that cart down the supermarket aisle, those are the two times when you can make a really positive statement for life there. Because every time you're in the restaurant and you turn to the wait person and say, I'll have the beef, I'll have the chicken, I'll have the veal, every time you say those words, your children, your grandchildren's world gets a little hotter and a little drier and a little deader. It really makes a difference. Every time you choose the plant option, the world gets a little greener and a little suffering goes down a little bit. It really does, man. Plus you'll be healthier for it. So every choice makes a difference. Make every choice affirming life and healing on this planet.